Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now November 19th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans around the world have been very much intrigued about what's to come by both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for the new Star Wars universe at hand. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things on there from time to time and interact with you guys further. So what's even all the more exciting is that Star Wars Celebration of 2022, that is going to be the very event that's going to unload all of the major announcements for the new roadmap of Star Wars. Basically, we're going to be learning about the quote-unquote second phase of Star Wars projects that will be announced. That's really going to fit everything all together up until the year 24 to 25. Now, the thing about all of this, just with Marvel, but also with Star Wars, the amount of projects that we are getting for 2022 and 23 for Star Wars is indeed going to be the new norm when it comes to, of course, exactly how many we're getting, in which order, and very consistent with, and I do understand of how they're trying to do things now. You know, obviously a lot of fans like both animated and live action projects, which is exactly why they're doing this next year, and exactly how they grew apart. Not just that, but Lucasfilm is also set to make the Grey focus on three factions: the Jedi, the Sith, and what is going to be considered in between. So far, Lucasfilm is dubbing them as False Jedi, and are actively looking to create a real name for this group. The new films are also going to tap into the Fallen Wills. These are dark side godlike creatures that watch over the entire universe, similar to the regular Wills that were created by George Lucas. However, these Wills are the ones that worked, of course, to create the dark side of the Force that will be explained in greater depth in the new trilogy of movies. Now, essentially, the new films will not only focus on the Jedi and Sith, but also the bridge between them as well, as these actual deities that watch over everything are actually happening from above and allowing things to take their course. The new films, though, of course, won't be considered the Skywalker saga. However, Lucasfilm is planning something big. Something, of course, to do with the fourth trilogy to tap into the origin of the name Skywalker and what it really means. It's said that, of course, they are looking to create an ancient meaning for the name Skywalker, and that Lucasfilm is planning to either make this an ancient person or a type of power that will be tapped into the new movies that will actually be explored in these stories that will take place many years before Episode 1, however, well before the High Republic era as well. Now, these stories are planned to also give fans how new truths about the origin of the galaxy as well actually came into order. So, the thing about this, alright, these new films at large, we already know that Bob Chapek is, of course, planning these major announcements for Star Wars Celebration. We've heard about this time and time again. That Celebration of 2022 is, in fact, going to be by far the biggest event in the longest time in Star Wars history. It's going to have tons of new Star Wars TV show announcements, new Star Wars film announcements coming our way, as well as new details about the lore. We're talking about the books, the novels, and the comics that's going to tie into such things. I want to focus on the Sith spiritual realm. Now, that's one thing that the Ahsoka Tano series is going to focus on, except the opposite. It's going to focus on the netherworld of the Force that taps into exactly where the Force ghosts go when they vanish from the mortal world. We're going to actually be able to see that realm. And this was an original idea, in case you guys did not know, by Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9. We were actually going to have Rey going into the netherworld, witnessing both Obi-Wan, Anakin, Yoda, Luke Skywalker, and such, before she goes back to the mortal world. She was able to decide whether or not she wanted to switch between, you know, the mortal or stay in the netherworld. And she chose to go back to the mortal world. So in Duel of the Fates, we were going to get that, and that's something that Jon and Dave are working on to actually show us in Ahsoka. However, these new films are going to do just that, except with the opposite. We're going to learn more about exactly where the Sith spirits actually travel to. Now, this is something that was very lightly tapped into in The Rise of Skywalker by Palpatine, where we learn more of the fact that all of the Sith are a part of him, essentially. We're going to be learning more about the Sith realm and exactly what happens to these characters once they actually are able to cross into this new territory that we have yet to have seen. Now, the other thing that I do want to actually tap into here that's very interesting is the fact that we are going to be learning more about the fallen wills. Now, these are godlike creatures that created the dark side of the Force, and the fact that they are going to tap into the true origin of the Skywalker name. Now, Lucasfilm is bouncing back and forth between whether or not they want to make this an ancient person or an ancient type of power. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what they choose to go with, and we're going to be learning more about this before the films arrive in the forms of books and novels about this new era called the Forbidden Era, because it takes place in a brand new region of the galaxy that we have yet to have seen. Besides the unknown regions, a large chunk of the new films will take place in the forbidden regions. And that, to me, I think is going to be a very interesting move by Lucasfilm to kind of add more onto the galaxy and to actually create a bigger region in the known galaxy that we actually see on the map during the events of course, either the sequels or everything that comes before or after. They are adding more onto the galaxy. So I think that obviously, you know, John, Dave, George, the fact that they are also involved with a lot of the lore for the new Star Wars films, this really does kind of steer things in a very more mythical direction. We're going to be learning more about the Force, the cosmic Force, the Jedi, the Sith, and how the false Jedi, quote-unquote, are going to be what comes in between the Jedi and the Sith, pretty much being, of course, gray Jedi in a sense. So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.